Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner for my Quick Tip Thursday. This is episode number 60. Yes, I have done 60 videos for quick tips, so that's amazing. But before we get started, I want to thank these people for their comments: Carver, Natalie, Diana, Amy, Carol, Annette, and Tamara. And do you guys know Tamara teaches workshops at the art glitter glue store that I visited several weeks ago at my retreat? So, anyway, yay, isn't that exciting? It is a small world. Anyway, let's get started on this quick tip. So, let's get started in today's quick tip. I recently shared this product with you where you could print a digital onto fabric. And you feel how flimsy this is. I'm going to show you another product that will help make it stiffer. Now, a lot of you may know about this product already, but for those that don't, I'm going to share it. There are products on the market. Fusible non-woven interfacing is one. Another one is a heat and bond. It's an adhesive product. I mean, I've had these for years and years. A lot of these may be back from my quilting days. Now, this roll here, I know I picked up at Walmart. I will also put in the description box some that you can order off of Amazon. But I've got a lot of bits and pieces here and there of this interfacing. And if you notice on them, there will be kind of a shiny back and a matte back. The shiny part is what you want to use. And so what I'm going to do is lay this fabric down over it and then cut it to a similar width or similar size of the interfacing. So I've got a big enough piece. And this came in a package because it is folded up. So I apologize, I didn't save the package. So there it is now. Now I'm going to take you over to where my ironing board is and show you how to use it. To the right of my main craft desk, I just have a small little folding table, and I have this wool pad with a mini iron that is already plugged in, and all I have to do is turn it on and off. I'll try to remember to link this little iron. I know I got that from Amazon, and I got this from Amazon. So it's really nice that you don't have to pull out your big ironing board. Anyway, so what you're going to do to adhere that interfacing. Now, I don't want this interfacing because, like I said, it's got a sticky part. I don't want it to get on my wool mat. So what I do is I pull in a piece of parchment paper that I can fold in half. So there's my interfacing. Oops, wrong piece. Anyway, here it is, my interfacing with the sticky part up against the fabric and the mat down. Then I lay my fabric over it. And like I said, you guys can see how flimsy that feels. And so I'm just going to lay it in there. And then I fold over the piece of parchment over the top of it. And then just make sure that it's nice and flat, and that there's no wrinkles in it. And then I just take a hot iron. This keeps wanting to curl up, but I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to be trimming it down, but just in case. So then I take a hot iron to the sandwiched piece. I hope everyone is doing great. I'm doing fantastic. So yesterday I went to sign up at a gym. You guys know that I am a retired nurse. Sorry for that noise. And then I pull it up and then I turn it over and I re-iron it. So I'm a retired nurse. I was a bedside nurse for 46 years. So that meant for 46 years, I was extremely active on my feet, sometimes walking for 12 hours solid if it was an extremely busy shift. And for being, when I retired, 69 years old when I retired, I was in very good physical health. Well, I retired about a year ago, and in that year, I have spent most of the year, yes, sitting at my craft desk. And so I noticed that my agility and stamina has really decreased in that year. And so I thought, oh gosh, you better get on the stick there, sister, and start taking care of yourself better. So you guys know my son works at Walmart, and there is a gym. It's called EOS Fitness. Anyway, it's right next to the Walmart store. So I take my son to work at 10 in the morning, and then I can just go right over there and go to the gym. And when you are on Medicare, if you take in your Medicare card, whatever insurance that you have through Medicare, you can get a membership for free. So I'm going to be able to go to the gym and not have to pay anything. So I went yesterday actually and signed up. My daughter came with me. She is a very healthy person. You've heard me say this before. Sorry, that's so loud. You've heard me say this before, that she is very healthy. Now I'm going to take this over to my craft desk and cut it out, and I'll finish my story. Okay, we're back over at the craft desk. So anyway, my daughter is very healthy, and she doesn't even look like she's ever had one child, let alone 3 children. But anyway, she met me there yesterday, and she kind of did a little tour and told me some exercises that I could do to help my back. The other thing is my back has been killing me lately, and I think part of it is when I sit at my craft desk, I am looking that way or kind of twisted because I'm either editing a video or I'm watching a YouTube video, or so I kind of turn and twist, and I think that's what's causing my back pain. But anyway, so she showed me some things to strengthen my back, and then I also just want to walk on a treadmill just to get myself in better shape for my trip coming up to Scotland, Denmark, and Norway. So anyway, so yes, so I went there yesterday and signed up, And then when I signed up, the guy said, let me cut that a little bit more. I don't want to cut off her head. He gave me an hour consultation for free with a personal trainer. So anyway, I have that to do today at 10 o'clock. And like I said, yesterday I walked on the treadmill for 25 minutes. And I'm telling you, you guys, so now I'm 70. I'm going to be 71 in June. And I had to hang on to the sides of the treadmill walking because my balance isn't as good. And again, I think it's because I have gotten very relaxed in, you know, my physical activity. So look at the difference in that. Isn't that wonderful how that will be? And what I should have done, and I can still do, okay, what I will do is print off. I don't even have to print off. So I'm going to show you some fabric that I am going to use in my fabric journal. So this is a page just for my new journal coming up, the French journal, which is going to be a paper journal. But I wanted to put a little fabric in there. Now, for my fabric journal, for my still life project, you saw this. I have been working on these images for it. Now, I did this yesterday. You guys had seen me work on this and kind of decide about this. I did decide to go ahead and put this little bird nest in there. I love that. I think it looks really cute. And then this, you guys had seen me do some thread painting of this. But what I did is I put both of those pieces together and then just did a small little stitch around it to fuse those together. And so they will be in the journal like this. And you see how already that is about the size of the journal. It doesn't give me any room for another, you know, page or two. So I'm going to have to definitely increase the spine. But I think I had said also in a recent video that I'm going to try something new with the journal making. Is I'm going to create all my pages, decorate all the pages, sew all the pages, you know, sew around them, whatever, add my pockets, my tucks, and then construct the journal because I like my journals to be equal in width. I don't like a gator mouth journal, and I'm going to tell you why. Is I journal in my journals. I write in my journals. And if it is too thick, you cannot, as you're opening up those center pages, you can't open them up to journal on. It's too thick. So I like mine to be the same size. I know other people like gator mouths. So, you know, that's your personal opinion. That's fantastic. They still look nice, but I like mine to be the same size. So that's something new I'm going to do is do all my pages first, and then I'm going to construct the journal. So anyway, this is one page for the fabric journal, and I love how it looks. Now, the other thing I'm going to do more than likely is this looks kind of plain here. I am going to add some kind of a tuck with some lace so that I can slide something in there just like you would a regular journal. Now, I've done some ironing of the interfacing on these other pages. Now, you saw this was one page with the butterfly. You saw this page. You saw this page, and again, I I ironed on some interfacing so it had some more stability. I'm going to thread paint here, and then here's another page. Now let me show you this. There's a couple of things. So I don't know if I want this in part of this quick tip. It's supposed to be, so I'm going to tell you a little story. So only a sister can tell you this. This series is called On Thursdays, Quick Tip Thursday. And we talk at least once a week. She lives up in Washington, and she says to me, Juanette, I was going to watch your Quick Tip Thursday, but it was 45 minutes long. That's not a quick tip. Well, sorry, Sherry. So I'm like, okay, do I do this as part of this or what? I'm going to stick with the interfacing part. We will do this another day. Sorry, I know this sounds confusing. Okay, so you guys saw where I had finished thread painting this. And as I was looking at it to put into the journal, I kept thinking to myself, well, I don't know, that looks kind of plain. It's too big. And so I'm looking at it, and I kept seeing all this whiteness here. And I thought, okay, let's think of something else. So this fabric was laying over to the side here. And again, this is some gorgeous fabric from Rachel from Roxy Creations. And I know somebody also recently asked me which of the fabrics that I had used for some of these pages here. And, you know, I can't tell you because some of this fabric was gifted to me from Rachel. Some of it was I bought right on the spot at her house. So I can't tell you which exactly fabric I'm using here. But let me just tell you this. It doesn't matter what you buy from Rachel's fabric kits. You're not going to be disappointed. It's all beautiful fabric. So anyway, so I was back to this. I was looking at this and I thought, well, I don't like that. That's kind of plain. It's just too, I don't know. So I thought, oh, let's fussy cut around it. So I will do that. But then the other thing I thought of that is that this, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to fit that in there? It like I said, it's too big. I'm going to have to add another piece here. And then it came to me, aha, fussy cut this out and lay it on this fabric. And as I was looking at the fabric, now if you can see, this has a little bit of the greens and oranges back there. So what I did is I took my piece here and I kept laying it down. Actually, let's do this first. Let's fussy cut this out. And I'll finish my story about the gem. So yes, so I'm going to fussy cut this out. So I have an hour meeting with a personal trainer today, and hopefully he will help me with some exercises or some things to do with machines that will strengthen my back. And the other thing is the guy that was signing me up, he was telling me that you have to buy what was it called? A posture computer chair. And he said they're off of Amazon. And so I was also looking at those yesterday. I have a regular office chair, and I didn't buy one, but I thought to myself, if I would just sit correctly in my chair as opposed to twisting, I'm sure that would help. But anyway, so I'm excited to kind of start getting back in a little bit better shape. It shouldn't be difficult at all for me to commit to this because, like I said, I take Pascal, my son, to work every single day at 10 a.m. And so I can drop him off at work. And so, but most of the time, you guys know, you saw just recent, just right when I was over, ironing, you saw my little dress thing that I had on. It's a little moo you know, it's half the time I don't even get dressed. I stay in my, my slippers and I drop him off at work. And so now I'm going to have to actually put some clothes on to go to the gym, but that's, that will be okay. So it shouldn't be difficult at all for me to do this. I can just drop him off at work, go right over to the gym, walk on a treadmill. My daughter said you should walk on the treadmill for about a half an hour and then do a couple of, some weights. I notice also my thigh muscles are very weak. I recently was down on the ground for some reason. I hadn't fallen or anything, but I was squatted down and I could not raise myself up. I had my muscles in my thighs were so weak that I couldn't even raise myself up. So I need to do something to strengthen those muscles. And like I said, my back, I think this is going to be pretty. And the other thing I thought, now see all this white around here, I thought, do I dare take some of my ink tints blocks and try to color that? And then I thought, no, because you know what you did when you were coloring the fabric of the paper cutter, you almost ruined it. So I thought, no, just leave a little bit of white. It won't hurt. So yeah. And then can I get in there? I'm going to try. I'm going to take these little bitty scissors. What I'm going to do is fold this and do a little snip. And then hopefully that will help me get in there and cut a little bit of that out. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. Going to the gym. Oh my gosh. I've always hated exercising. I have always preferred a sedentary uh, things to do. And maybe it's because, working as a nurse, I was always on my feet. So I was like, when I'm not working, I want to be sitting. I don't want to be up moving around. But now that I'm retired, I need to work on getting this old body back in shape a little bit. Just go in here. These are nice little scissors. I love these spring-loaded scissors. Okay, oh yeah, I like that. And that's not too bad to have the white. Okay, so then it needs to go on one of these pages, and I love that there, but it needs to fit within this book. So I'm thinking that, but again, what you want to do is pull your image around and look and see where, oh, now that's pretty too. I like that. That's even better with that little bit of script back there. This would compete too much. There's that image again. This yellow up here, I don't think that would look good. Oh, now that's good too. Oh, that's maybe better. I like that. So that, or that. See, I will want to use this elsewhere because that's such a pretty image. I think I'm going to use this. So what I need to do is measure. It needs to be 5 inches in height, remember? So I'm going to turn this like this. And I want to cut this. Let's see, we're going to line that up there. And I'm going to just run my ruler there. And I need, let's see, I'm going to go to about there. Let's see if I can get that cut. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here. It needs to be, what did I say, 6.5? So that's definitely more than enough. I'll turn this like this. And lay this here. Trim that. Perfect. And then we'll lay this like this. And I cut more than what I needed. I only need, what did I say, 5 inches in height. Well, I will just cut all the way across. Let's see. I'm going to go there. Isn't this just stunning fabric? Oh my gosh, Rachel. You are a clever woman. So clever. Okay. Okay. So now we can set this aside. And now, like I said, we need it to be 6.5 inches in width to fit the book. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. So let's see. About like that. And then we need it 5 inches. Oh, stunning. Look at that. Beautiful. 5 inches in height. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. Yep. I don't know why this is doing this. Okay. So this will be a page in the book. Yes. And I'm going to square this up. I don't like that that writing looks askew. I don't know what happened there. If it's a little bit shorter than the book, that will be okay. Okay. Isn't that pretty? And then I could have this over it. And what I'm going to do is come in here and trim this white a little bit more. But let's use some of that interfacing now to strengthen this fabric up. Let's see here. Let's pull in a piece. So again, what you're going to do is cut your piece about what you need. Make sure that you have your interfacing, that area that is got that kind of a shininess, that's what is sticky. And so you're going to lay this here and then fuse it together. Okay, so now let's trim this down. And do you see how beautiful that interfacing strengthens that cotton fabric? Just really makes it very nice and strong. And so then when I sew 2 pages back to back, hopefully they will be strong enough to stand up in the book on my still life project. So then this will be folded in half. I can go ahead and crease that so that it will go in the book about like that. Okay, that's perfect. And then this then needs to be sewn on. And it may just go around like that. And then once again, I can put some kind of a pocket over here on this side. So isn't that pretty? Now, doesn't that look so much better than just having this with all that white around? So anyway, I will work on that today. That is my quick tip today, is when you need to strengthen up your fabric, use some fusible interfacing in it. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you on Saturday for Slow Stitch Saturday. It may be more on this journal. Thanks and bye-bye.